It is 5:52. It's Tuesday, the 26th of May, and I just had another astral projection experience. This is another raw astral projection experience. I did one yesterday, which was pretty cool. I did one today, which is pretty cool. I might do one tomorrow, and I might just have like a astral projection marathon. I haven't, I haven't done one of those in a while. So this experience is pretty cool. By far one of the most beautiful um, in the dimension, coloration, distortation, and I found it. I kept like coming back was a pain as well. I'll tell you why later. Um, so I started meditating. I was meditating at first, right? I was meditating at first, and then I felt my hand go up. I lifted my hand up, and I thought it was 3D. I'm getting close. I'm trying to discover something which most people haven't seen before and they haven't heard before in books or on YouTube videos when it comes to astral projection. I'm getting close, real close. Anyway, so I put my hand up. I got this feeling I was somewhere important first before the astral projection, but it's blurry. But the other astral projections are incredibly vivid. It was like I spent hours there and I kept astral projecting over and over and over and over again. And each time I came back to my awareness, to my physical body, then I astral projected, I experienced something more vivid, more new, and I had more memory to bring back. But the first initial astral projection, something happened which included a bunch of people, a bunch of beings, not people, beings. They were not human. And they were downstairs in my living room and they were deciding something. And maybe the memory will, maybe the memory will come back. I mean, I've heard of people saying that when you astral project for a certain period of time, it's hard to remember. But I reckon that's only the case if you astral project numerous amount of times, like I did, like literally like 5 minutes, maybe less than like I came out of it and picked up my camera. So you're looking at this like a minute after I've done it. I've come out. Anyway, I'll tell you the ones I remember. So I lift my hand up in the air and I noticed how I couldn't see my hand. That's it. Oh, now I remember. I was in another garden. Wow. Yeah, I remember the astral projection now. I got up here and I couldn't see my hands. It was like my hands were really thin. Oh, this is so cool. My hands were really thin, right? And I put my hand around my hand and I slid it up my arm and I noticed that I had no flesh to me and I was sliding my hand up and I was just sliding up bone. And as I got up and I looked in the mirror, I was a skeleton. like, like I was a literal skeleton. And I looked old. Like the bones were old, old bones. And I looked and I slowly looked around and I remember like it was like a movie. Like I remember watching an old movie where these skeletons were animated and they were poorly animated because it's a very old movie and they looked kind of like that, only I was thinner. And it was only till I moved my arm out of my range of my face that I noticed how thin my arm was because I was just bone. And I was like, yeah, I was a skeleton. So that was cool. And then I thought, I'm going to lay back down and see if I can actually project elsewhere. This is where it gets even cooler. I then get up again, only for my surroundings to completely change. I then ended up outside and I walked into what looked like a gigantic building. I want to say dome, but it was a square. It was like a square box. And as I went underneath, I walked into the entrance of this huge building, like a car park, but massive. And I went in, and it was like a giant greenhouse. Greenhouse, right? And I'm finding it hard to walk for some reason in the astral realm. I'm not sure where this location is, but as I'm walking below me, it's glass and I can see underneath, and there are these animals that do not look normal. Okay, these animals are their head. They're like one of them. It's like they're like giant insects, but they're more animalistic in nature, and their heads are like stretched. One of them, their head was really stretched, and it had like a snout and like and really long like like spider legs, but it was like they were being kept there in like these cages. And as I was walking the path, and the path was like it's like a cross, but it was like boom, 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 and each path was like that. So if you're on top like a bird's eye view, it'd be like that, right? And I was walking up the path, and as I was walking up the glass path, looking down, that's where they were kept. And then I looked to my left of me, and there was more of them. There was ones that looked like birds, only they were distorted. They didn't look anything normal than I would see around here in on Earth. It was very strange. I went somewhere very strange this time, and then I came back. I brought my awareness back here. Excuse me. Hmm. I can't stand for this. Get him in the house. That is how you talk to a teenager who's incredibly annoying. But yeah, getting back onto the astral projection experience, I might as well do it now that I'm standing up. I'll do it laying down because I can remember it much more when I'm laying in the same position I astral projected. Oh, feels so nice. But yeah, so I'm in this like dome. I'm in this dome, and I bring my awareness back to my physical body, and I try again for the second time to put my hands up in the air. This time I can see my hands, but they're not fully formed. Okay, they're not fully formed. And I'm going like this, and I'm trying to look down my arm, and I cross my arms together like this to try to get some sort of solidity, and then I get up, and my room is blurry. The color, it still looks the same, but it's slightly blurred. Okay, I have more control this time. I can see better, and then I look into the mirror on my right. I mentioned in one of my videos, never to look in the mirror. I get really curious nowadays, and I'm looking at my eye like this, and I notice that my eyes are glazed over, like they're blue, but the pupils are really small. Like everything here, like you see in my brown eye, but they're really small, like really small. And I'm looking like this in the mirror, and that's strange. My astral body looks different this time. This is where it gets cool. It's where it gets really cool. Okay, this is this is where it gets nice, because I bring my awareness back to my body on purpose again, and I go to astral project again for the third time. Okay, now this isn't me coming back to 3D, then astral projecting again and again. No, this is me bringing my awareness back to my vessel, skipping 3D and then going straight to another location. It's like I'm using my body to bounce to one location to the other. This is where it gets cool, because I leave my body again and I look at my hands up. I'm like, yes, I can see them. They're there. My arms are solid. I feel great. I can astral project whenever I want when it comes to this kind of thing. Like, if I don't get it right this time, I'll bring my awareness back and I'll go and do it again. So after my awareness was in my physical body, I got up, and my room, the color in my room is beautifully unique. It's the saturation's raised, it looks nice, it's warm, And it's like when you walk into a sauna or a shower, there's steam, but the steam is made out of the color from the wallpaper, right? From and there's this pink, reddish energy that has filled the room. As I get up and I walk, I notice that there's nothing in my room. Like just there's just walls. The sink's missing, my desk is missing, my computer's missing, everything is missing. And I look to my right into my small mirror, which is that's the big one. That's where I was the skeleton. A small one was over there. I think you can see it by the shelf, and it's just above there. And I looked into that mirror. This time, I can see the outline of my brown hair. It was like there was a lit. It's like there was a light lit behind me, and I can see through my hair, and it was brown, as it is now. It looks dark because it's like compact, but when I wash it and comb it out, and it's like really like it goes like out here, like a proper afro. It was brown, and my eyes lit up brown, like really bright brown. It looked really clear and perfect, and the outlines of my eyelid, of my face, and my dimensions of my lips, everything took a whole new level of life. It became brighter, like a tinted brown light was being shined out of my edges of my face. It outlined my face. The light outlined my being, and it shined out through this mist, and it made me look very clear in HD. And then I looked down and I couldn't see anything to the rest of me because the smoke was so thick in the room, or the energy was thick in the room. But it wasn't like the room was blurry. The stuff in the room was making visibility poor, and the light showed me as HD, crystal clear. And I thought, I want to try to manipulate. I want to bring someone into this dimension, right? So I thought about the person I wanted to bring into the dimension. I thought about the feeling they gave me, the feeling they have, their character. And as I'm walking towards my bed, I feel a hand go like this on my back. And I felt my clothes go in my back of my clothes as something touched my hand. No, something touched the back of my back with their hand. And I thought, And straight away I felt their character. It was them. I turned around. There was no one that I could see in this fog, in this smoke. No one I could see. And then I came back to my bed, and I stood on my bed, and I tried to imagine them laying on my bed. The weight of the bed went down, and then they materialized right there on my bed. I thought, is this the right one? Is this just consciousness that I've conjured up from 3D, a part of their mind, which I've manifested into an astral realm? This doesn't feel like a being trying to manifest into the astral realm. Am I creating them? Am I bringing thoughts into this astral realm? What's going on? Is this actually them, legitimately them? I thought the best way to know is if it's them from this plane of existence, this dimension, then to ask them. I will do that after this video. Or it could just be a part of their consciousness that they're not aware of, which I've taken through the dimensions. Or it could be a future them. It could be them a year from now. It could be them a month from now, a week from now. And I could just be astral projecting and taking people from different timelines and bringing them here. I've had people say that they've met me in the astral realm and I'm older. I've had people say they've met me in the astral realm and I'm younger. I've met my older self in the astral realms. So location, meeting people, it's very difficult. But this was, what can I say? I met creatures from off-world. I looked like a cool skeleton. I was thin and I had a uniqueness. It wasn't a normal skeleton. There was a uniqueness to it, and I wasn't afraid because I don't get afraid of skeletons. I always found it funny when people got afraid of skeletons. Like, why? They're skin and bone. They're not even skin and bones. They're just bones. You can knock them over and they'll break. But I looked in the mirror multiple times at my reflection. I went into different forms. It was like I was a skeleton form, then a form where my body wasn't quite put together properly, then a form where my bones were out of shape and my being was out of shape. The next form was me being light, an outline of just light in a room filled with energy, and it just looked beautiful. I experienced beings in this dimension, ones trying to get my attention, the ones that I was trying to bring about to manifest within my space. And I could have stayed and done it for ages and ages. I could have brought my awareness back and bounced back and forth and experienced more and more for ages and ages. And who knows, maybe I'll do that tomorrow and have more things to say to you guys. So I'm Ryan J. Serious about do it. I'm on like a marathon today. I'm getting good at this. You can see the confidence, right? Uh, um, but in all seriousness, you see, I'm happy astral projecting. I'm also surprised. I'm not being arrogant or cocky at what I'm doing here. I'm surprised at the speed in which I'm able to do it. I'm surprised that not too long ago, actually, I got off of a consultation at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And then I lay down and I astral project straight after. I'm surprised how easy you learn how to do it once you know what you're doing. That's why I'm surprised, and that's why I'm so happy. I do what makes me happy, and I'm glad that what I'm doing is so weird. That was an inside joke. Those of you who have me on Facebook know what I mean by that. I'm weird. I got called weird a couple of days ago by 2 other people, and it kind of upset me a little bit, I'm gonna be honest with you. And because in my mind, the word weird means to be rejected from social norm just because you're different, whereas I embrace difference. So to be called weird is like, it's like everything that I embrace is being mocked or rejected. And what I have to offer, yeah, it's weird. It's not normal. It's not in the norm of 9 to 5 job and eating, pooing, showering, then having kids and getting married and dying. It's not in the social norm of what people expect other people to live like. But that's what makes it so interesting and so. It's just a better way of living. For me, and hopefully for most people out there who've already done this. I don't know. Anyway, I posted that on my Facebook, and I woke up this morning and it had like 50 to 60 likes and a heap full of comments, and it blew up pretty quick, and a lot of people love being weird. And Google it, Google it, and you'll see why people who do this are called weird. And after looking it up on Google, I felt okay with it, and I like saying it. Yes, I'm weird, and I'm proud, and I'm different. And I'm Ryan Jason. I'll speak to you guys pretty soon. Rant.